The Spy of Napoleon, The Woman Who Changed the War. London, 1804. The ballroom glittered with candlelight and deceit. Lady Eveline Marceau moved through the sea of red uniforms and powdered wigs with grace that belied her true purpose. Her emerald gown shimmered with each step, her French accent carefully muffled behind a refined British tone. No one suspected she was born a daughter of the French Revolution, or that she now worked under direct orders from Napoleon Bonaparte himself. Tonight's guest list was a spy's dream. High-ranking officers, admirals, war strategists, and at the center of them all, General Alistair Whitmore, commander of England's Western Fleet and Napoleon's most persistent adversary. Eveline's mission was clear. Gain access to Whitmore's war maps stored in his private study. The fleet's planned attack on Boulogne had to be sabotaged. She had rehearsed every word, every glance, every breath. Yet as she approached the tall, steel-eyed general, something within her stirred, and not the kind of fear she was used to taming, a dance of secrets. "May I?" Alistair's voice was deep, with the restraint of a man used to command. "Of course, General," Eveline replied, curtsying. Their hands met, her touch light, his firm. They moved into the waltz, her heart beating not with nerves, but confusion. Was this part of the act, or something more dangerous? "You're not from around here," he said quietly. "Scotland. My uncle owns a vineyard near Inverness," she lied, flashing a disarming smile. He didn't smile back. "Your accent slips, occasionally." She nearly faltered. "Does it? I'll have to ask my uncle for a refund." Still no smile, but the look in his eyes changed. Less suspicion, more intrigue. Eveline adjusted. This wasn't just a soldier. This was a man who had buried friends, made ruthless decisions, and wore loneliness like a second coat. And in that moment, she knew something she hadn't planned. He was vulnerable. The heist. The study was locked. Of course it was, but locks meant little to Eveline, trained in Paris under spymasters, who could open a door with a hairpin and silence a man with a whisper. At 2 a.m., she moved silently through the servant corridor, slipped past 2 sleeping guards, and entered the general's study with the softest click of the lock. Maps, orders, troop movement charts, everything the French needed to decimate the British naval advantage. She photographed them using a microlens hidden in her brooch. Then she heard it. Click. The unmistakable sound of a pistol being cocked. The confrontation. "You looked too closely at the windows," Alistair said from the shadows. "Even the best liars forget to be boring." Eveline turned slowly. No use pretending now. "Then why let me dance with you?" He stepped into the light. "Because I wanted to believe you weren't what I feared." Silence. Her heart thundered. "Will you kill me?" she asked, voice level. "No," he said. "But I should." Instead, he lowered the pistol. "Who are you really?" "Eveline Marceau, French patriot, loyal to the Republic." "You're loyal to Bonaparte. That's not the same thing." "I fight to end wars, not prolong them." He studied her. "You're good. Almost too good." "I had to be." She turned to leave, but he blocked her path. "If you walk out that door, you'll be hunted. And if I stay, you'll be a prisoner." "Of war or of you?" she whispered. He didn't answer. The escape. By dawn, she was gone. Alistair's guards found his study undisturbed. Or so it seemed. He'd told them nothing, burned the copies himself. Why? Because he didn't want to admit to his superiors that he had fallen, even briefly, for a ghost in a green dress. Eveline crossed the channel disguised as a washerwoman, the stolen intelligence hidden in the hem of her skirt. She delivered the documents directly to Marshal Berthier. Napoleon, pleased, smiled and offered a glass of wine. But Eveline declined. A letter never sent, months passed. The British attack at Boulogne failed spectacularly. French propaganda called it a victory of anticipation. Eveline continued her work, but her thoughts returned to the man in the study. In the safety of her Paris apartment, she wrote a letter, Unsent. To the only man who saw me, I didn't lie when I danced with you, only when I said goodbye. I hope history is kinder to us than we were to each other. E.M. She never posted it. Epilogue. Years later. In 1815, as Napoleon prepared for Waterloo, a retired General Alistair Whitmore read about the Emerald Ghost, the code name for a female French spy who had disrupted British plans a decade earlier. He closed the newspaper slowly. A smile, the first in years, tugged at his lips. "She danced well," he whispered.